Well, have you ever felt insecure about your job performance? It could feel like you are always second-guessing yourself. You may even put in extra work just to feel like you're keeping up to par.
Well, our next guest says that doing too much to overcompensate can actually end up hurting your success in the long run. Joining us now, author and leadership advisor Margie Warrell. Margie, this is a really interesting topic because I'm curious about the motivation. How do you sort of separate your own self-worth from your work product?
Look, I mean, to be human is to get pulled into being defined by external things. So I just want to say, if you sometimes feel defined by your job or the feedback you're getting, you're very normal. But I think it's really important not to let that overtake us. And so often we can become very overly defined by how we're doing in our work. And when our identity is resting on that, then we're always going to feel insecure.
Dangerous territory.
It very much is, and it is so common, especially I feel like for women in specific. What can we do then to prevent that burnout and avoid that trap?
Well, first, I think prioritizing what empowers you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Because when you've got a lot on your plate, you know, there is a lot of pressure to do more and do more. But the research shows, Microsoft Work Index found that people who don't prioritize what helps them to recharge and renew have 38% lower performance.
Wow. Interesting. Just from not recharging.
By not recharging, because we need to. We can't always be on all the time.
Yeah.
But we have to guard those boundaries as well and then celebrate small wins along the way. And often in that pressure to just do and do and do, we can end up spreading ourselves really thin, and it ends up hurting our performance too.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like a piece of this is sort of separating the anxiety from the tactical issue in front of you. If you have legitimate concerns about your job performance, what should you do? Who should you go to?
Well, I always say, seek feedback before your review time. Like, be proactive in getting feedback. Asking, you know, how could I be doing better, and framing it around growth. Like, I really want to excel in this role. I know there's a few gaps. You know, I would love your input on what I could be doing better, and make it easy for your manager to give you that feedback. I have found that people often struggle to give feedback because they don't want to hurt people's feelings. And this applies even more to women. I can't tell you how many times I've had a male manager say, oh, I don't want to hurt her feelings. But that deprives you of an opportunity to better yourself.
Right.
And so make it easy. Like, if there's one thing I could be working on. And I think when we're proactive and we're showing that we want the feedback, and we don't respond negatively, don't burst into tears or
Don't get
argue,
defensive.
but go, thank you, I appreciate that. It actually makes it easier. Like, we're creating that safety for them to go, okay, you said you'd love feedback, here it is. But I think what we want to do is be continually seeking that out and showing that we're really committed to our own growth.
I love that. Like, seek the feedback, but also don't feel like you have to take everything and change everything about yourself. You know, you can weigh the pieces of advice and then figure out where to go from there. Are there certain types of people or certain professions where people are more susceptible to this? To this kind of burnout or trying to overachieve and feeling insecure about their performance?
Face it. I mean, there are absolutely industries. You think about finance. We're here in New York. To work in finance is to have a lot of expectations on delivery and to be asked to work incredibly long hours and be delivering. I mean,
numerical metrics.
Oh, yeah,
right?
you
I
bet.
mean, you can't escape the numbers.
So, but I mean, we've seen it. You see it in medicine, in any profession where excellence, and it's competitive too.
Yes. Right.
So let's be clear here. This isn't about, oh, I'm leaving at 5 to do yoga and I expect to get the promotion over the person that's going to work till 10. But I think it's about making sure we're managing our own energy in a way that what we're doing and that achieving is really sustainable over time. Because it's when we're not doing that recharge. And you know, if you're an ambitious person, that's great. If you love to excel, that's great. This isn't about vilifying high achievers. It's about really being clear about how do we show up and how do we do that in a way that we can keep that up over the long haul.
Yeah, and different people have different capacities. I think it's important to recognize that. Margie Warrell, thank you so much. Great advice today.
And stay right here. You are watching NBC News Daily.